Let's talk today about what it means now that we've had some time with Pluto in Aquarius, what is showing up, what it means that some other planets are going into Aquarius, what that's going to look like, and what the deeper meaning is for us. Because Pluto is about our life lessons, right? It's about a transformational process, bringing what's been unconscious into consciousness. So, in so many ways, learning more about who we are. The sign of Aquarius is about authenticity. So, really, this is going to be a journey of discovering what being true to ourselves actually means. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Sunday, February 11th. Lots of ground to cover here as we kind of dive in with some of the details about what this Pluto in Aquarius means for us. I also have super exciting announcement. I am very personally excited to reveal my new website. It's at the same old URL I've always had, so it's astrologyheals.com. But if you go there now, you will see a different website. It's got some special offers, really introducing you to how to work with me. And so definitely check those out. If you're not on my email list, I highly recommend getting onto that email list so you can get some special offers and something special on your birthday and all kinds of updates that I'll be sending you. So you can go to astrologyheals.com. It should be easy. I think there's a pop-up window. There's also an email sign up at the bottom of the page. So check that out. Also, just peruse the site. Look at what it is I am offering and doing. This is all part of this Pluto in Aquarius time. No accidents are present. No accidents are happening, right? It's all in sync with where the energies are carrying us. Certainly, while Pluto was in Capricorn, I was learning a lot about who I am and how to do what I do and how to be authentic in that, as we all are, right? We are all going through our own version of that journey. And so for me, this website is kind of a new reveal of who I am, what I have to offer, what I do that's maybe different than what other people do, and how I can support you both in your personal life, but also if you consider yourself to be a leader, a change maker, a visionary, someone who is in the healing profession, or in some way working toward making the world a better place, right? Which is what we do here. I talk about that a lot. So supporting you in really diving deep into what that looks like for you on your path. And of course, how astrology is like rocket fuel to accelerate us on that journey, to help us understand ourselves, to give ourselves a language for what our souls feel and know to be true, but we don't always have the right words to put that into, to understand why we are the way we are, how that fits with the rest of the world, why we might feel tentative or anxious or even afraid to be who we really are, right? And so looking at some of those details in your chart to see how you can work with how you're made up to understand your own journey and your own lessons that are going to help you do this deeper work of understanding more fully who you are. So astrologyheals.com, go check it out. And so it all ties in because what we're talking about today is Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto has now gone into Aquarius, right? And now we're starting to have some of the other planets activating. So Pluto is very slow moving. It's obviously stays in a sign for many years. We're just at the beginning of this 20-year period of having Pluto in Aquarius. So we're going to grow and mature through Pluto in Aquarius as it makes its way through the sign of Aquarius, just like we did when Pluto went through Capricorn beginning in 2008. So we had a long journey of diving deep into our own transformation and healing and bringing things to the surface that have previously been either hidden or in the realm of the unconscious, in the realm of just sort of that's the way it is, so we don't talk about it really, right? Having some of the deeper truths within Capricorn systems, structures, institutions, ways we operate collectively as a society on the planet. This is true for all human beings. So as we went through that time period of Pluto in Capricorn from 2008 up until last year, Pluto went briefly into Aquarius, then retrograded back into Capricorn. We still have Capricorn Pluto going into Capricorn briefly again at the end of this year. So we're not done with that work. This is a slow moving process. Anyway, the point is that when Pluto went through Capricorn, that process unfolded over years, right? Starting with 2008, moving up through 2020 and the early 2020s. So we had a lot to work through, and that will be true with Pluto in Aquarius as well. So where we find ourselves right now is at the very beginning of Pluto in Aquarius. We're just sort of like peeking in the door to see what's in the room, like, okay, what do we see coming? What does it feel like? What feels different? And the energy of Aquarius is the energy of shake up, of breakthrough, right? Breaking free, freedom, rebellion against the status quo, rebellion against the old ways of doing things. It's really looking to the future. It's really opening and unlocking possibilities. So we're talking really about unlocking your brilliance, which is your authenticity. Another great keyword for Aquarius is authenticity. So we're discovering who we authentically are, and we're going to have to go through a transformational process to fully actualize that authentic truth. And so keywords here are truth, power, transformation. Those are all keywords for Pluto. And Pluto is moving through the quality, the theme of Aquarius, which has to do with shakeup, with change, with breakthrough, with insight, inspiration, new ideas, new possibilities, future vision, as well as ideals. Right? It's a very mental, higher mental sign. And so it's very rational, but it's also breaking free of old thinking. So as we go through the Pluto and Aquarius years that we're just at the beginning of, we are going to be going through a transformational process, digging deep into our truth, into accessing a deeper empowerment, place and path of our empowerment. And that will require coming to terms with some things that we have maybe been able to avoid in the past. It is like that. So Pluto is the underworld, right? Pluto is the lord of the underworld. It has to do with a process of uh, going into or deep into our truth, connecting with ourselves honestly, vulnerably, processing what has been stored there that is ready to be released, that is ready to come into the light of day, that has been in the shadow, that has been in the realm of mystery, that has been something we've taken for granted because it's been unconscious. So becoming conscious of some of our deeper truths in a way that allows us to step fully into our future selves, our ideal selves, our authentic selves. So, really unlocking your brilliance is what this is all about. It's tapping into that deeper place where you are where your genius is, right? And that's going to be unique for each of us, our own brilliant selves, our own inner genius, our own ability to connect with higher consciousness, new ideas, new thinking, new solutions to old problems. So that is the wonderful part of it. The harder part of it is that we also have to step into this place where we don't know how things work. So the comfort zone, the comfort of Pluto going through Capricorn, even though we might have hated it, we might have thought, this is so unfair, things that are happening in the world and so wrong, and all those things. Um, at the same time, we knew how that worked. So there are things related to, a sense of comfort coming from old ways of operating, old rules, old systems. A lot of those old rules and old systems are being challenged, are being broken open. The reveal is happening that those old rules, old ways of operating may have worked, in a sense, right? Nothing works all the time everywhere. But in the past, it worked well enough, right? That we could live with it, or we did live with it because we didn't have any choice. So even though it was limiting, we lived with what we had. But now that Pluto is in Aquarius, what we open up, what we discover is that those old ways of operating don't work. It's like that they don't even apply anymore. Whether it's because now we have AI, or whether it's because our systems and institutions are just based in things that didn't exist 200 or 100 or 50 years ago. So a lot has changed. A lot of the environment, the context, society, culture has changed. Our new technologies are changing the way we live. Even the pandemic changed the way we live, right? So many things are different. So we have to revisit our ways of doing things. So breaking free is great because we get outside, right? We get through out of the prison bars of old ways of thinking and old ways of doing things. But on the downside, we also go, oh, what do we do with this freedom, right? How do we get from point A to point B? Where's the map? Where are the guideposts? So we're in territory that we don't have a map for yet. And that is going to be true, might be true for you on some level personally. It will show up for us in the collective as we try to navigate situations and circumstances that are unprecedented. You might have heard that word, right? So, unprecedented is what we have to respond to. So our Capricornian response ability, right? Our ability to respond has to respond to things we don't understand and we haven't had to figure out before. Or we figured it out before, but those answers no longer make sense in the way that things are now. So that's kind of the soup that we're in. And that is going to be the work that we are doing as we move through the next 20 years of Pluto through its journey through Aquarius. So Pluto right now is in the first degree of Aquarius, 0 degrees Aquarius, very, very beginning. That's a very potent and powerful part of the sign. It's really introducing its energy. And we also have inner planets, the sun, the moon, Mercury, Mars, and Venus this week, all moving into Aquarius as they do. The moon every month and the sun every year, Mercury and Venus every year go into Aquarius, Mars every couple years. So those things are not unusual. It's just that now when they go into Aquarius, they also light up the energy of this soup that we are swimming in that is about Pluto in Aquarius. So they activate this slower moving outer planet energy that is more like the air we breathe, the water we swim in, and then these inner planets do their dance, right? They're moving through the signs the way that they do. And when they do, they come through and they trigger that early Pluto and Aquarius energy. Okay, so right now we have the sun in Aquarius. We had Mercury go into Aquarius last week. Mars will go into Aquarius Monday night, my time, Pacific Standard Time. And then later in the week, Venus goes into Aquarius. The moon went into Aquarius last week on Thursday. Friday, we had the new moon forming a square to Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, also the planet of shakeup and change. And there were a number of earthquakes that day. It's like the theme of shakeup, of change. And yes, we have earthquakes on the planet. And it's not always correlated, but it's just so interesting to see this, literal earthquake energy showing up around the new moon in Aquarius, and forming a square to Uranus in Taurus, which is Earth, right? Shake up of the Earth. So anyway, also you might have noticed, so coming back to the idea I'm trying to talk about, which is that as Pluto is in that early part of Aquarius, every time a planet, the sun, the moon, anything goes into Aquarius, it's going to boom. It's going to trigger that Aquarian energy. It's activating this deeper process that is going on. So you may have noticed around the new moon, which was on Friday, back on February 9th, way back then, because that is really opening the door to the future. That new moon in Aquarius and the moon cycle that we're in, which has to do with this Aquarian energy, and the work that we are doing in Aquarius, really activating those themes. And so again, coming back to, it is about our authenticity, what it means to be free, what it means to be living according to our truth, really and honestly, and in that deep personal truth kind of way. So raw, vulnerable. Um, and so the Aquarian desire to be right can be at odds with the personal truth that we feel. So watch for that, right? Watch for a tendency to be attached to ideas, to feel a sense of righteous anger, because you are going to be more powerful if you can tap into your own deeper truth of this is why this is important to me. This is why I get emotional about this. Here is how it makes me feel. Here's how it affects my life, right? Instead of just the superficial reaction to things being wrong, and where we want to sort of do battle with old ways of doing things, or the things that we find unjust, instead of getting stuck locked into that battle, we want to go into that deeper place of what is true and right, and why it feels true for us, how it impacts us, what it means for our lives. Because when we're coming from that place of deeper truth, we will be more powerful, more effective at making the world a better place, doing good in the world, right? Having a positive impact on humanity, the planet, the environment, the social justice, whatever it is that you personally feel called to work on and to participate in and make a difference in. And even if you don't see yourself as someone who is here to like go out into the world and lead a charge, you're still making a difference in your little corner of the world, right? It's how you show up, it's how you listen, it's what you say about your own truth and your own perspective. It's how you are being yourself in the world. And that is what this is all about. It's about you being yourself from that deeper truth, from that place of power, and going through your own transformational process to recognize what that is, what it looks like, what it means, how you need to speak up or not be too loud, or whatever it is that you need to do. This is about the process of that unfolding journey of you discovering what your brilliance really is, right? It's what your genius is. Okay, so we had a new moon in Aquarius. We also had Mercury going into Aquarius. Mercury is the messenger. Mercury is that planet of thinking, communication, problem solving, processing information. So with Mercury now in Aquarius for a few weeks, we have that higher level thinking, that connection to those bigger ideas, the thinking outside the box, the epiphanies, the connecting to bigger picture ideas and solutions and possibilities. So it's opening the door to new thinking, but it doesn't necessarily give you like, here's what to do with that. So that's how the other planets come into play. And we're gonna next have Mars going into Aquarius on Monday night. And so when Mars goes into Aquarius, Mars is the warrior planet. It's the planet of action. So this means taking action on the ideals, the causes we believe in, the being the warrior for truth that is asking us to, take action on the ideals we have, to move and do things from that bigger picture of the vision we have for the future. So if you've been following me, we talked on Friday with the new moon about setting intentions, connecting with your future self, with the future you want to create. So what's unfolding here, I'm kind of painting the picture of this bigger thing that's happening. And so as we step into the Pluto in Aquarius energy and the upcoming, transformational process that we've already begun, right? As these planets go into Aquarius, it's taking us into this very mental place where we're talking about ideas, ideals, principles, what we see as right, and where we feel righteous, where we rebel against things because they don't have the right idea. And so all of this is, well, it's destabilizing for one thing, right? It's taking us out of that Capricorn comfort zone where we know how things work, where we know where the ground is, we know what the rules are. So we have to step into this place of the unknown. It's going to feel, it can feel shaky, right? A little bit destabilizing, but it's based in this higher idea of what we want. So coming back to your higher idea of what you want, what is important to you, why is it important, and especially as Mars goes into Aquarius, we're going to be saying, what are you doing to bring that about? What are you doing to contribute to positive change? And so self-care means also remembering to connect with your body, connect with the earth, right? Like, um, uh, with a lot of this air energy, it takes us into, it can take us out of our bodies. There can be a sense of disassociation, detachment, alienation, isolation. So reconnect, remember your connection, stay connected to others, have good conversations, connect to the earth, get your hands in the ground, smell, the trees, listen to the birds. And so those are things to remind you of the beauty and pleasure of the earth, the physical realm, and staying in your body, staying grounded, taking care of yourself, good nutrition, drinking water, getting rest, all of those things are going to help you stay connected so that as you connect with these higher ideas, you can also remember to ground them, to ask yourself, okay, what do I need to do about this? And how do I integrate it? How do I implement? So we're going to be talking about that more as we go through this moon cycle. For now, thank you so much for being here with me and sharing in some of these higher ideas and thinking and unlocking your own brilliance. So again, my website is now there. It talks right on the homepage about unlocking your most brilliant, unlimited potential and how we can do that together if you choose to work with me. So lots of information about how to do that there. I will be talking more about that. You do get 20% off on your first consultation with me. So it's right there on the website, and all you have to do is sign up for my email newsletter to get that coupon code to get that 20% off your first session. There are lots of different focuses we can have for your session. So read about that. You can do relationships, parenting, grief and loss. You can do leadership and stepping into your role as a healer and a change maker. So check it out, astrologyheals.com. You get 20% off, even if you've been with me for a long time, because if it's your first time on this new website, you get that 20% off. So I thank you so much for being here. Again, that website, new site is astrologyheals.com, and I'm Marina Orms. And thank you for being here and subscribing to this YouTube channel. I'm here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care and, of course, unlocking your own most brilliant, limitless potential with the support of astrology. So as we, today the moon is in Pisces, and we're riding these waves of energy and letting that current carry us where we need to be. So keep following me for all of the updates, and I'll keep telling you what I can. All right. Thanks again. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.